Okay, so this video is going over just first impressions of Killing Floor 3. I haven't played enough to go into a full in-depth sort of like review of the game. Um, right now I'm working on a video that's 8 hours of each Killing Floor game, as I just really love looter shooters, or not looter shooters, sorry, horde shooters. Um, I grew up playing Diablo, and I know that's not a horde shooter, but that's kind of what got me into it. That went into playing Call of Duty World at War and the zombies there, which eventually just kind of evolved into getting into Payday. I love that game. Payday the Heist was great. Payday 2 I have easily over 1,000 hours in, over a few different accounts. Which essentially, eventually I got to the point of playing Killing Floor. Never played the first Killing Floor. I'm excited to play that for the video that I'm working on. Killing Floor 2, though, I have quite a few hours in, across a few different accounts, and kind of got the gist of what Killing Floor is trying to be. When I started playing Killing Floor, I was a little confused. I felt like the movement was really slow, the guns were different, the Zeds were completely different, coming from what I was used to playing, zombies and demons, and yeah, Zeds are demons. But they're in a different way from what I understand. They're like mutations. They just simply just fall into their own category, and that's described as Zeds. But yeah, I really liked what I saw when I first started playing Killing Floor 2. I loved the bullet time. All of the different skills and everything of the sorts, I was able to kind of put my mind to say like, hey, yeah, they took a little bit from this game, took a little bit from that game. But then coming into Killing Floor 3 and seeing the difference. The movement is substantially faster. Very smooth. I'm running around. I constantly have Zeds on my ass. And I'm scared again. Like, I'll be honest. After the first game, I don't know. I was very stressed out. I wasn't expecting this type of energy coming into the game. I was expecting a lot more slower down paced. I kind of left my thoughts to myself seeing the reviews on the game, but it didn't really make sense. A lot of things kind of led to, from what I saw from other players in the gameplay, I wanted to experience it for myself, so I did. From my understanding, the main jives with the game. Obviously, we really don't like seeing microtransactions in our game. Like, that's any games. That's just one thing we hate. We don't like it. Now, with the Battle Pass, at this point, I might just be used to it. I might just be used to seeing it. I kind of like the way that they did it with Helldivers. The Helldivers, like, inspiration is nice to see. I didn't mind the Helldivers battle passes because I thought it was done differently. It's not extremely hard to get to the end of the battle pass, which feels nice because it's not like you're, pushed or pressed for time or anything like that. What I do get for Killing Floor fans to be upset about is them putting Mr. Foster in the store, like the original Mr. Foster. I understand it. They can catch some flack for that. You just don't do that. It's not a cool thing to do, especially as a original and very beloved character to the game. It's just not cool to have you buy the game and not be able to have that character. You know what I mean? Especially in the way that the original skin looks. I get it. But I'm not here to kind of talk about skins and the issues regarding, battle passes, microtransactions, da-da-da-da-da. We've heard it 100 times. We've seen it 100 times. It's an unfortunate thing, and I'm just willing to look past it. The performance, yeah, the gameplay that you're seeing now is actually 1080p gameplay. I'm working off of a 8GB gaming laptop, and I do favor performance over, my graphics. I've been playing games since PlayStation 1 days, same with Nintendo 64, so it doesn't bother me. But I do like performance. I do like feeling very smooth gameplay, and I get to get over 100 FPS. I'm pretty happy with that. We all know Unreal 5 isn't fully optimized yet. They're still trying to figure out the kinks, but the engine itself is very solid. It feels great. And you're able to push games into a new direction, which is really cool, and I really enjoy seeing that. But going into the topic where I'm most confused, I don't know whether to be excited for how the movement, how the speed of the game is. I could see that they don't have nearly as many weapons, which for me isn't kind of the end of the world, because I see that they're moving into a weapon modification system, and I like that. Long term, like, that could change a huge part of the game. They get nearly as many weapons as KF2 does. That's huge. That's a really fun thing to have, you know, later in the future, making builds for your weapon. I don't know. I think it would be cool. Like the blunderbuss. Think about being able to mod, you know, the barrel of the blunderbuss from KF2, or the ammo, or anything of the sort like that. I think it's sick. I'm stoked. It's definitely they're playing the long game, though. That's where that's where my brain is at. I see the systems that they have in place, and they're like, you know what, let's make a really solid gameplay experience. To me, it almost feels kind of doomy. I was really stoked about that. I was really excited. I got really giddy. A lot of the time I was like, holy crap. The Zeds are like back in what I feel crazier and cooler than ever. I mean, the Siren, for example, her head pops up into like a mechanical field, and as you see just right in the gameplay, the Scorchers are now jumping onto roofs and getting the high ground to shoot you from there. Like, for me, that was a big plus. One thing I also understood was the bosses. They have huge health pools. Definitely not the same as upgrades from KF2. Once you got an upgraded weapon or anything of the sort, you're able to melt bosses a lot faster. You felt like you did a lot more damage. And for me, that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that about KF2. I do feel like bosses in KF3 are pretty bullet spongy. I've only fought one, but I'm kind of expecting to see that across all the coming bosses that I face, going through the story, etc. Oh no, the story was another thing that I didn't know whether to be excited about or to be a little nervous about. I see that they're trying to move the game into a direction where they're just trying to get into the next generation of Killing Floor, and I get that. Like, you don't want to be stuck in the same realm of Killing Floor 2 all the time, but it's important to keep aspects of the game that is Killing Floor 1 and 2, and that's where I understand a lot of people are, you know, the game doesn't feel like Killing Floor. The game feels like something completely different. As people are saying, soulless, very soulless game, and very soulless gameplay. I'm not sure if I believe that. In my opinion, I do think the game has soul. I do think the game is very packed with fun systems. After my first... Now, let's bring this back a second. I've only played one round. I've only done one game. That's the gameplay that you're seeing here. This could change. It depends going through the rest of the video. Now, I wanted to make this video because I'm planning on doing at least 8 hours of each game and seeing the difference of each, and then compacting all of that and summarizing it into one video. Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely on the fence. I came from Payday 3. I like Payday 3. Do I think it's like the best game out there? No, I don't. But I'm sticking with it because I do feel like eventually it will get to the point where I want it to be. A lot of you could say that's copium. I get flack from friends for that. I get it. It's fine. I just I just like the way that Payday plays. I like the heists. I like the missions. Brings me back to when Payday 2 and Payday the Heist was really big. So, yeah, of course I'm always going back to Payday 2. I have a team We all play together. It's a lot of fun. But I also like seeing what the next generation of horde shooters is looking like. And honestly, I'm not upset with Killing Floor 3. Do I think it kind of needs some more time in the oven? Yes. When it comes to the weapons that are in the game, it's not nearly as much as Killing Floor 2. But do I think they're going to get there? Yeah, 100%. Like, looking at the roadmap, every update, every major update is showing new, new weapons, etc. No, the character and the class system, I haven't played enough to really speak on it. I know that having classes and characters... Sorry, let me say that again. Having characters specifically placed to each class, I don't like that. I'm on the board with everybody else on that. Killing Floor 2 and Killing Floor 1, you would be able to choose your character and play whatever class you want. And yeah, it's just an easy yes that should be the way it is in Killing Floor. Regarding the movement, what the game actually feels like, honestly, I was getting more of a speedy, doomy, quakey feel to the game, just player versus enemies wise. Definitely doesn't feel like Killing Floor. I love the music still. It still feels great. But I think that's where the biggest issue with the game actually lies. When it comes to Killing Floor and people saying that the game feels soulless and that this isn't Killing Floor, etc., and everything that I've heard about Killing Floor 3, I think they're trying to push the limits. I'm trying to kind of grasp what they're going for. But yes, you're right. This isn't a typical Killing Floor game. It's very fast-paced. I feel like I'm flying around all the time. When usually going to the traders and Killing Floor 2 takes a little bit more time, and you feel a lot heavier, and the weapons that you use feel a lot really heavy. They kind of hit a lot harder, and now it's more just machine guns. They don't feel the same heaviness, I've found. Still love the pistol. The pistol is always great. When it comes to the satisfaction of the games, getting headshots is still there. I love it to bits. It's what originally attracted me to the game. One thing that feels really, really different, I'm not a huge fan of, is the Z time or the bullet time that they have in this one. I don't know what you actually call it. It feels really long. It doesn't happen nearly as much when it used to be procs and you would get perks that could play into the Z time. I haven't gone enough into the perk system to be able to see that yet, but I'm hoping that they still play it that way, and I wouldn't mind seeing the Z time getting losing that little status bar at the top. I don't really care for it all that much from first impressions. Another new thing was the gadgets, and you being able to have ammo boxes now. Like I said, I never played the first Killing Floor yet. I'm planning to. I'm very excited. I know that's one of the more beloved games from the community. It looks a lot grimier, which I'm excited for. It looks like a proper, pretty horrific scene. Very grungy. But maybe they had, ammo boxes, etc. there. I'll be able to talk more about that stuff when it comes to the bigger video that I'm working on when it comes to all the games put together. But yeah, no, the actual fundamentals of the game are solid. I really enjoy what I'm playing. The gunplay, the movement system, seeing the Zeds jump around, seeing them chase me even faster. I feel stressed out, proper stressed out. And I think that's very needed in a horde shooter. It's nice to, deal a lot of damage and, kill a lot of zombies or Zeds or whatever you're playing, cops if you're playing Payday, or zombies if you're playing Call of Duty or anything of the sort. But sometimes you just need to get your ass kicked and just get surrounded and not know what to do and feel that flusterness. What you're seeing now is the newer kind of system that they have going on with the different marksman rifles, weapons, kunai. They have a ninja now, which is new. The medic is there. I'm happy to see that. But as a main support player from Killing Floor 2, am I a little sad to see that support isn't in the game yet? Yeah, I miss my shotguns. I love them. So I'll probably play a lot of Commando for now. This is the first boss that I fought. It was newer in Killing Floor 3. It's the Chimera. He's pretty cool. He has these weak spots on his arms, and you can summon some pretty crazy enemies to come after you. Jumps all around. But going into this next little gameplay, I just wanted to try a little bit of the marksman rifle that they have added to the game. And I'm pretty sure right there, I just turned into, just brought it back to a regular assault rifle. I knew that's not what I was going to need. But yeah, no, you can kind of see what I'm talking about with the chunkiness of the health bars here. You don't do nearly the same amount of damage, and maybe that's going to change as I get more attachments for my weapon, I'm hoping. Or in a later update, they kind of fix that system, make it a little bit better. The boss system's not feeling like you're just trying to weigh down a giant health bar. I don't know. The more clunky games I've played have had this feature where they're trying to make a difficult boss, and you just end up bashing your head against a giant health bar. But if the health scales with per player that you have in the lobby, if you're the last player, like, there's no way that you're gonna chunk a health bar like this down. So I feel like in my eyes, having a solo run, this isn't that bad. It's doable. But say you have, like, I don't know how many people you can have in a game in this game. Well, specifically Killing Floor 3. But say you have 4 people and it all scales to the 4. That's going to be a crazy health bar. That's an insane amount of health. You very well might be there for quite a while just trying to weigh that health bar down, going through the same motions for attributes or, whatever moves that boss has. It'd be a very tough one to kind of whittle down. But as you can see there, he has those little orange spots on his arms. You're supposed to shoot those and does some extra damage or something. I didn't really know. I was just shooting anything that I saw. When it came to the Commando's better weapon, so I see that they're going to a color system for weapons right now. So I just eventually got enough dosh to buy like the purple version. This one just feels like an LMG, but same area of gun that I started with. So hopefully, with each weapon that you can kind of customize and you can make them change the feeling a lot more of the guns. Is what I worry in that stage is all the guns are going to feel the same. But yeah, that was the first impressions. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm definitely excited to see more of the game. But yeah, once the full video is ready, then I'll have more to talk on this subject. Yeah, thanks for listening. Have a great one.